Hello and good evening. I'm Mohana Priya. Welcome to News on 2. Datin Sri Rosmah Mansor, wife of former Prime Minister Dr Sri Najib Tun Razak, is still being questioned at the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission at its headquarters in Putrajaya today. Datin Sri Rosmah had arrived at the MACC headquarters at 9:50 a.m. to give a statement in connection with the MACC investigation into One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB. An MACC officer approached by Bernama confirmed that the former Premier's wife was still in the building and had not completed giving her statement. Scores of local and foreign reporters had gathered at the MACC headquarters as early as 6:30 a.m. Yesterday, MACC officers served a notice on Datin Sri Rosmah at her home in Taman Duta, requiring her to be at the MACC headquarters today to give a statement. Last Thursday, MACC Deputy Chief Commissioner of Operations, Datuk Sri Azam Baki, said the Commission did not dismiss the possibility of Datin Sri Rosmah being prosecuted soon. An UMNO Member of Parliament with the Datuk Sri title and his older brother are in remand for 4 days beginning today to facilitate investigations into a corruption case. Also in remand was a 36-year-old man who is a director of a company linked to the Datuk Sri. Magistrate Shahwira Abdul Halim issued the remand order against the three men under Section 117 of the Criminal Procedure Code following applications from the Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC. According to MACC, the MP was detained at 11 a.m. at the MACC headquarters in Putrajaya yesterday, while his brother was picked up in Sungai Buloh just a few minutes later, and the company director was detained at 5:30 p.m. also in Putrajaya yesterday. In May, MACC seized 500,000 ringgit in cash from the Datuk Sri's home as part of a probe into the appointment of contractors in Tabung Haji projects. The Datuk Sri was the former chairman of Tabung Haji. It is learned that the case was also being probed under the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001. It was also reported that MACC had conducted raids at his houses in Subang and Baling, as well as his office in Jalan Tun Abdul Razak, Kuala Lumpur, on 23rd May. The Public Accounts Committee PAC will summon former Prime Minister Dr Sri Najib Tun Razak to testify before the Parliamentary Select Committee as part of its probe into the shortfall of the 19.4 billion ringgit Goods and Services Tax or GST refunds. Now, the PAC has reportedly fixed October 17 to question Datuk Sri Najib. According to PAC Chairman Datuk Sri Dr Ronald Kandi, he will also be calling up current Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng and former Treasurer General Tan Sri Irwan Sarigar Abdullah as part of their probe into the matter. In a statement today, Datuk Sri Dr. Ronald said the committee hopes to come up with a conclusion and provide suggestions to the government on the issue when a PAC report on the matter is tabled in the Dewan Rakyat. After all, three have provided their individual explanations. Meanwhile, on the PAC's probe into the One Malaysia Development Berhad or 1MDB scandal, Datuk Sri Dr. Ronald said the committee had agreed to start proceedings on the company owned by the Finance Ministry. He said proceedings on the matter would start soon. On August 16th, the Finance Ministry tabled a motion calling for the Auditor General and the PAC to reopen a probe into the 1MDB scandal. Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Dr. Ronald said former second Finance Ministers Datuk Sri Ahmad Husni Mohamad Hanadslah and Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani were also present for questioning yesterday over the 19.4 billion ringgit shortfall in the GST refunds. Datuk Sri Dr. Ronald added that the two former second Finance Ministers had also given their statements before the Select Committee between 12th September and 13th September. The PAC comprises members of Parliament from both the government and opposition bench, as well as ex-officio members from ministries including Finance Ministry, Auditor General's Department, Attorney General's Department, Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, Public Services Department, Accountant General's Department and the Economic Planning Unit. A runner for a Road Transport Department RTD staff was remanded to aid investigations into a corruption case for 6 days beginning today. It is alleged that the runner was the middleman for a staff at the Temerloh RTD who was alleged to have received bribes for renewing expired motor vehicle licenses without following proper procedures. The RTD staff was remanded last Saturday for allegedly accepting bribes as inducement for renewing expired licenses without undergoing Puspakom Sdn Berhad inspections. Magistrate Nordiana Abdul Aziz issued the remand order for the 34-year-old runner after he was detained at the Temerloh MACC office last night. The case is being investigated under Section 17, subsection A of the MACC Act 2009. The 29-year-old man who is suspected to have murdered his mother at Kampung Sungai Burung, Balik Pulau, Pulau Pinang, is under remand for 7 days beginning today. The remand order was issued by Magistrate Nur Azuin Abdul Muati at the Balik Pulau Court. The suspect is remanded to facilitate investigations under Section 302 of the Penal Code. The body of the 63-year-old woman who went missing since 19th September was found by her son-in-law in a septic tank behind her house with a slash wound on her throat on Monday. The suspect was arrested at 8:45 a.m. yesterday at Jalan Air Putih, Balik Pulau, after he was alleged to have killed his mother. Based on initial investigations, the suspect has admitted to killing his mother after a heated argument and to being intoxicated from inhaling petrol fumes earlier. The two suspects involved in 3 robberies at a retail shop, a self-service laundromat and a 24-hour convenience store, which occurred within a span of 15 minutes in Sungai Petani over 2 weeks ago, were charged with 3 counts of armed robbery with a weapon at the Sungai Petani Sessions Court today. The first accused, Mohammad Zulfikar Nazrik Mohammad Zahir, 21, pleaded guilty to the charges, while his accomplice Mohammad Asmu Hairil Abbas, 20, claimed trial when the charges were read in front of Judge N. Priscilla Hemamalini this morning. Both accused, clad in black T-shirts, were brought to the Sungai Petani court complex on a police vehicle. For the first charge, both accused, along with an accomplice still at large, were charged to have robbed a woman. Armed with a machete, the trio robbed the woman at a retail shop at Sungai Petani at 7:15 a.m. on September 10th. The second charge concerns a robbery that took place the following day, where a 37-year-old woman was robbed by both accused while she was doing her laundry at a self-service laundromat in Taman Putri Jaya at about 7 a.m. On the third charge, both suspects were accused to have robbed a 24-hour convenience store in Sungai Petani at 7:15 a.m. the same day. Judge N. Priscilla Hemamalini set October 11th for sentencing on Mohammad Zulfikar Nazrik, who was not allowed bail. Mohammad Ashum Haril, meanwhile, was allowed bail of 7,000 ringgit with 1 surety for each count while awaiting trial date. A drug trafficker turned violent and tried to attack enforcement officers with a knife when they sprung a surprise raid on the drug port in Taman Nilam, Langkawi. However, Langkawi Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Iqbal Ibrahim disclosed that the 31-year-old suspect sustained injuries to his face and eyes when the officers apprehended him while he was trying to escape. Superintendent Muhammad Iqbal said the officers raided the drug port during the Ops Sarang police operation. Police also found 63 heroin-filled straws weighing 21 grams and 4 methamphetamine-filled straws weighing 1 gram during the raid. The suspect also tested positive for morphine. He is being investigated under Section 39, subsection B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. The body of renowned music composer Dr Suhaimi Mohammad Zain, who was more popularly known as Pak Ngah, arrived at the Pasir Gudang Ferry Terminal in Johor at about 10:15 a.m. today. His body was brought by a special boat from Batam, Indonesia at 8 a.m. and took about 2 hours to arrive at the ferry terminal. Datuk Suhaimi was accompanied by immigration officers and close family members, including his wife, Datin Sharifah Mahani Said Qasim. According to a representative of the family, Abdul Razif Abdul Rani, the final funeral rites was later conducted at Masjid Kampung Baru, and Pak Ngah's remains was later laid to rest at the Muslim cemetery in Jalan Ampang, Kuala Lumpur, after Zuhur prayers. Pak Ngah, who was believed to have gone to Batam, Indonesia for work and holiday with his family, died due to heart failure at Tanjung Pinang at 3:15 p.m. yesterday. He leaves behind a wife, Sharifah Mahani, a son and a daughter. Companies and universities need to collaborate and work closely so that the graduates can compete in the borderless world and a workforce with an international perspective can be built. Education Minister Dr Mazli Malik said universities need to work harder to develop not just employable graduates, but graduates who can thrive globally. Dr Mazli said programs such as Huawei's Seeds for the Future is part of the many collaborations that the Education Ministry wants the universities to be part of. He said this in a speech for Huawei Malaysia's Seeds for the Future 2018 program at the ministry in Putrajaya.
Dia macam satu exposure kepada saya punya studies. Dalam universiti kita belajar banyak teori.
Explore more about ICT, about teknologi, apa teknologi terbaru, macam mana innovation dia daripada satu hari ke hari yang lain.
A lot of thank yous, of course, to my university and especially to my lecturer. He gave us a lot of support in terms of transportation, in terms of advice. He teach me how to film the video.
Under the Seeds for the Future 2018, 10 Malaysian university students from the Electronic Engineering and Computer Science faculties have been selected for a 2-week study trip in Beijing and Huawei's headquarters in Shenzhen, China from 12th October to 27th October. Fully sponsored by Huawei Malaysia, the trip will expose the students to cloud computing, Internet of Things, 5G technologies, building and configuring their own 4G base stations, and many other cutting-edge solutions through technology workshops and networking events. The trip also includes cultural aspects such as Mandarin, calligraphy, and painting classes. Maybank Asset Management Group Chairman and Maybank Banking Berhad Board Member Dr Hasnita Hashim has been appointed as the new Majlis Amanah Rakyat or MARA Chairman. The announcement was made by the Prime Minister's Office, PMO. A statement released by the Prime Minister's Office says Dr. Hasnita is a PhD holder in nuclear physics from Oxford University and a trained actuary with 26 years of experience in financial management and was at one time the Chief Executive Officer at Guidance Investments, the investment arm of Guidance Financial Group. The PMO also announced the list of MARA Council members include International Islamic University Malaysia Professor Tan Sri Dr Zulkifli Abdul Razak, Malaysian Aviation Commission Chairman Dr Nungsari Ahmad Radi, and Maidin Muhammad Holdings Berhad Managing Director Datuk Wira Dr Haji Amir Ali Maidin. Also in the list are Maybank Life Assurance Berhad Chairman Datuk Syed Tamim Ansari Syed Muhammad, former Perusahaan Automobil Nasional Berhad and Proton Holdings Berhad Chief Executive Officer Tengku Tan Sri Mahalil Tengku Arif, and Zakri Khair. The Malacca government targets to construct 49,000 affordable housing units in the state within the next 5 years. Chief Minister Adli said 24,000 units of the affordable homes have been built. An agreement was recently signed to enable the construction of 1,000 units of affordable houses in Merlimau with a total area of 60.7 hectares, which is expected to complete in 2 years.
Jadi kalau kita lihat, kalau mereka duduk di Merlimau, dia sebenarnya lihat dia dalam kawasan pertengahan pembangunan antara Melaka dengan Johor Utara. Jadi pembangunan saya lihat di Merlimau itu semakin hari menjadi pilihan kepada pemaju-pemaju ni, dan sekaligus dia juga boleh memenuhi keperluan penduduk di Merlimau itu sendiri.
A Memorandum of Understanding signing ceremony between the Malacca Housing Board LPM and Paduan Realty Sdn Berhad was held at Sri Negeri Aikro. LPM was represented by Adli together with LPM Executive Director Salih Mat Dom, while Paduan Realty Sdn Berhad was represented by its Managing Director Datuk Sri Poh Giok Singh and Director Poh Tin Yap. And that concludes this evening's News on 2. In our top story today, UMNO MP and 2 others remanded for 4 days in corruption probe. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Mohana Priya. Stay tuned to TV2 and have a great evening.